Hello there, I'm Shaun McLaren, and today I'll be playing this nice little mono blue prison deck that I feel got some interesting new cards from Eldritch Moon and might be good in the format right now, the way it is after the Pro Tour. So the deck is basically trying to chain cantrips together and then awaken Part the Water Veil and smash in with Part the Water Veil for 6. Just taking a bunch of turns and bashing for 6 and winning the game right then and there. The main way it does that is through Jace's Sanctum, reducing the cost of the cards and allowing you to chain cards together by scrying as well. So it makes Anticipate, Nagging Thoughts, Take Inventory all very powerful with Jace's Sanctum in play. You're going to get to scry and then draw a card to find whatever you want. Add in Prism Ring and you're gaining life as well. Just name blue and it'll gain you a lot of life over the course of the game since all your spells are blue. Everything you cast is going to gain you life, and with Jace's Sanctum you'll be able to cast a lot of spells. Engulf the Shores and Hydrolash are the two sort of main defensive spells that are going to be for weenie creatures like Bank Company or Mono White Humans. You're going to be able to buy time with Engulf the Shores and Hydrolash. As you're drawing cards, just keep casting them until you assemble your endgame. Unsubstantiate is a new card that works really well in the deck. It not only can bounce creatures, but it can interact with spells in game 1, which the deck wasn't so good at doing, interacting with like instants and sorceries or planeswalkers on the stack. Just being able to use its remand function is going to be useful to deal with important cards in the late game. And of course bouncing is great with Days Undoing. You can even remand a spell and then cast Days Undoing to get rid of it. And same with Engulf the Shores. Return all the creatures, then cast Days Undoing, and then it won't really matter so much that you're giving them 7 cards. Days Undoing is actually one of the cards that I feel is really good in the format right now, because it's secretly the best graveyard hate in this format. So there's not really any other graveyard hate in the format is the thing. And Days Undoing shuffles the opponent's graveyard into their deck, which is bad with Take Inventory, but kind of have to deal with that anti-synergy. So Days Undoing is going to keep your opponent from Emrakul'ing you, which is kind of a problem card, except Emrakul, there's not really much that they can do to disrupt your plan once they've taken over your turn. It's annoying, but they can't do that much except draw a bunch of cards that you don't really want anyways. So yeah, Days Undoing is going to be good against the graveyard decks though. Haunted Dead type effects, shuffling everything back in and just drawing them 7 cards is going to really stunt their growth. Nagging Thoughts, Anticipate, Take Inventory, great cantrips, which allow us to not only run a lower land count, but really use Jace's Sanctum to its full potential. And that's pretty much the main deck. Days Undoing, you can go, is great with when you empty your hand early with like Prism Ring or Unsubstantiate. Just redraw your hand and then sort of ignore what your opponent's trying to do. Not a lot of decks won't have much main deck interaction with what you're trying to do. The sideboard, Thing in the Ice, is another combo with Days Undoing. If you cast Thing and it has one counter left, you remove that counter, bounce all their creatures, and then Days Undoing resolves and gets rid of them. Kind of similar to the combo with Engulf the Shores. And Thing in the Ice is great in the deck in general. It's really easy to flip and wins the game very quickly. It's a great sort of secondary Engulf the Shores win condition out of the sideboard. The reason it isn't in the main deck is, of course, because the deck dodges removal very well otherwise. Same kind of reasoning with Jacevin's Prodigy. Great looting, great once it's flipped. Good with Take Inventory as well. Discarding Take Inventory is nice, and then casting another one, or flashing back Take Inventory. Unfortunately, Part the Water Veil and Days Undoing exile themselves, which make Jace a little worse. So I prefer Thing in the Ice in general, but it's nice to have access to both. Negate is just great. Counters pretty much all the spells that are going to Hand Disruption, Planeswalkers, all the problem spells, all the things that are going to disrupt your plan post-board. And of course, Imprisoned in the Moon is a new card that seems perfect for the deck. It allows you to interact with Planeswalkers as well, problem enchantments, problem creatures, basically a catch-all sort of Maelstrom Pulse, Path to Exile sort of effect. And then Clash of Wills. You could run Summary Dismissal, but against Elder Deep Fiend, just countering it is basically as good as exiling the tap ability, since you don't have any creatures for them to tap anyways. Against Emrakul, Summary Dismissal is going to be better, but I like the versatility of Clash of Wills. So yeah, I think that's about it. Let's take our islands and get to battling and see how the deck does.